All right, that's the end of that one. So it's kind of hot in here. We need some shade. So,
oh man!
So Franklin Kaminsky of the Phoenix Suns sent out an Instagram post where he was like, "I'm finally where I want to be." How do you feel about Franklin's shade?
You out of your damn mind if you think anybody wants to be in Phoenix. Frank, you don't want to be in Phoenix. This right now, one player in the NBA says, "Man, I can't wait to go to the Phoenix Suns." Man, if you don't,
Charles Barkley ain't walking through that door.
Kevin Johnson ain't walking through that door.
Let's go with Kevin Johnson or Dan Marley.
Dan Marley
before we go with Charles Barkley.
Right. He's the MVP there, man. I'm telling you.
Man, there's so much to unload here, and I'm gonna try my best to make this quick because I don't want to spend an hour talking about Frank Kaminsky. So anyway, so to provide some history, when Frank was at Wisconsin, you know, somebody was basically asking him about going to the NBA versus staying in school, and he was like, "Well, Wisconsin is a fun environment, college is a fun environment." He was like, I don't know if I'm in a rush to go to the NBA and play in cities like Charlotte and whatever else.
For 13,000 people.
Yeah,
16, 20,000 people.
Right. Now,
in Wisconsin.
Now, even though it was
tipping cows.
Now, even though it was true, I still stuck my middle finger up at him. It's like, man, keep Charlotte out your mouth, bro. So, when he got drafted by Charlotte and his tenure here, majority of people didn't like Frank.
No.
The majority of fans didn't like Frank. On or off the court. Now, to be fair, and to be objective, because I always want to be fair and objective. Frank,
unless we're talking about Michael Jackson.
Good one. So to be fair and objective, I think the hate for Frank on the court was too much sometimes because for the lack of his defensive and rebounding abilities, he was our leading scorer off the bench a lot. I think he won a couple of games for us, to be honest, especially towards the end of last season. You know what I mean? But at the same time, man, you know, if you don't want to be here, bye. You got to go. You know, it's that simple. I mean, I'm sorry I don't have anything more thoughtful to say than that, but at the same time, if you truly don't want to be here, if you truly think you can go shine, no pun intended, somewhere else, by all means, hey man, go flourish, man.
So Vince, I got a question for you.
All right.
Will Vince Dunlap keep that same energy of Frank optimism when he fails in Phoenix? I just want to know.
Oh man, no, Vince will not keep that same energy because it will be the coach's fault. I told you, I already got the excuse built in. I got the excuse, and if it's not the coach's fault, Devin Booker is taking too many shots, or DeAndre Ayton is not clearing out the lane. Like, I got my excuses ready.
No, I'm with Vince. Me and Vince, I think, are the only two people in the Hornets Facebook group that maintain if Frank goes to a Western Conference team and gets minutes, he'll play better. So
minutes gonna be
here it is.
I will agree. I will say this: he's gonna have a lot. He's gonna have a hard time getting minutes, but. Now, to answer the topic with the shade, I honestly believe that Frank is being the bitter ex-girlfriend. Like, let it go. Like, he didn't have a good time in Charlotte. They
like barbecue.
They chose. Now, this isn't where you want to be. This is where you ended up because Charlotte chose not to pick up your option.
Right.
All right. You ended up where you were able to go. But with that being said, to caveat off of what Kaiser said, I've always said that if Frank Kaminsky went to the Western Conference, I've always said that his game translates better to the Western Conference. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna shoot out a few stats for you guys to kind of support that argument. Okay, shoot. His time in Charlotte. No, last season he averaged like 9.8 points, 4 rebounds. Mm-hmm. But last season he shot a career best with 46% from the field as well. If you look at his per 36, because you can't really look at your per game numbers because he'll play 30 minutes.
Especially with him because his minutes were so inconsistent.
Yeah, he'll play 30 minutes tonight and then he won't play for 2 months.
Right.
So if you look at his per 36 every year, his rookie year, he averaged 13 points a game per 36. It then jumped up to 16 and then 17 and then finally 19.3 points a game last year, his per 36. And it's the same narrative with this per 100 possession. Every year, the numbers increase. His last... Now, I'm not going to talk too much about last season because he played good the last 2 months of the game. And then everybody's like, oh my God, Frank all of a sudden played good. Maybe we should have kept him. No, he's been playing like that all 4 years. He just never got the time. And
consistent time.
The consistent time.
But what do you say about his defense?
We'll get to that.
Look, let me say something real quick. Dare I say even that got better the last month of the season last season. Now, overall, I mean, it was pretty awful. Don't get me wrong. I mean, if we're talking about, just the total package here as far as his career goes, it was pretty bad. But
I'm about to blow you all the way with a stat.
But toward the last month of the season, man, even that improved.
But of all the centers on the roster, Frank had the best defensive rating per 100.
I knew you were going to say that.
You know what?
I'm not. Look it up. I'm not even.
Listen, I'm going to just say one thing and y'all can go. Bismack Biyombo.
Get him off my team.
If Frank Kaminsky...
Drop him off. Back to the condos.
If Frank Kaminsky can get 26 minutes, if he somehow can find 26 minutes, I think we'll see... I think the fan base will see a Frank Kaminsky that they chose to gloss over here. And I'm going to shoot off 3 more stats.
Shoot it.
And then we can go and do whatever, okay? Cliff's last season, which was 2 seasons ago, Frank only scored 20-plus points 8 times the entire season. But in those 8 games where he scored 20 or more points, the Hornets went 7-1. Okay, in those 8 games. I don't know what that means. I'm not a statistician or anything like that, but if you play 8 times and you do something 8 times and I win 7 times, we probably need to try and see a little bit more. I don't know. But
this may be, right?
Throw it out there a little more.
2 years ago, he played 26 plus minutes 21 times. All right? In those 21 games, he scored in double figures in 18 of those games.
Ooh.
The season before, he played 26 minutes 34 times. And in those 34 games, he scored double figures 29 of those 34 games. Give Frank 26 plus minutes, and Charlotte would be over here complaining to Michael Jordan because he let somebody else go.
So I got a final question for you guys. How do those 4 picks for Boston look right now?
Well, Boston ain't really doing too good either. So
honestly, this whole situation proves the fact that picks aren't as valuable as people think they are. My question is always, if those picks were so valuable, why was Boston trying to give them away? Boston.
I also have another question. Why is it always reported that Charlotte turned them down? That they were the only team that turned them down.
Miami.
9 other teams turned them down. Yeah, I don't even.
And another thing, something funny. One of the reported picks that was offered is Terry Rozier.
And if he was available this year, he would have been
All right, so this is
I just want to say, I want to congratulate us on one thing. We did a Hornet segment without talking about Kemba Walker.
You ruined it.
This is my last thing I'll say about Frank ever. This is my theory, my conspiracy theory.
Let's let him go.
Yep. I think that Coach Clifford, never forgave Michael Jordan for calling him out publicly during the playoffs about Frank. And I think that he, out of spite, chose not to. I'm sorry. Michael Jordan says, post Frank up. They post Frank up. He scores 15 points on Justice Winslow. They win a playoff game. And they never.
And they went away from it.
Never do that again in the series. Not ever. Not in Coach Cliff. And I got to think that's got to be spite. Here you have something
that's working.
You obviously, most coaches would just do it until it doesn't work anymore. Clifford never even.
And then this is after you said in the press conference, well, if Michael Jordan pats you and tells you to do something like this, you got to do it. And then you don't do it anymore.
Yeah, and
good luck in Orlando.
Yeah, and I'll close it out on this. Frank, he will always be an enigma to Charlotte, and I say that because he's made a lot of comments that's been hard for us to accept.
Right.
You know, whether it been Hornets fans, whether it just been progressive Americans or it's women. He's made a few comments that have offended a lot of people. So in that regard, it's been hard to root for Frank Kaminsky. But the pure basketball fan in me, I sincerely believe that his game has always translated to the Western Conference, and I'm waiting on him to ball out.
Hey, man.
I'm waiting on him to ball out.
We gotta watch those McAllister commercials.
Thank God.
All right, so we're gonna jump
Tea is
into
delicious.
Hey, man,